Bluetti is slowly proving themselves as a worthy power station brand here at the lab. They make some good products, and we've actually been really surprised with their special use case products recently. But we have had a rocky relationship with Bluetti in the past. We did not like a lot of their older stuff, and we made multiple videos telling you guys exactly how we felt. That being said, they've been actually innovating recently, and instead of delivering us a million versions of the same power station like a lot of other brands, they've made some really good units that solve problems people are having. But at this point, they've released a bunch of different units, all geared towards different people and different use cases. And we've recommended some of these to you guys in our videos over the years, but at the end of the day, we think there's really only one worth buying. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. We frequently get comments from you guys asking which power station is best for you. We built a 30-second quiz that gives you an instant recommendation based on your needs. We will leave links to that in the description down below, but specifically referring to Bluetti, we're gonna answer this question today because their product lineup has gotten pretty big. They have the Apex line, the Elite line, the Pioneer line, and the Premium line, and they also have a couple other units that they call them specialty units. Most of these are honestly pretty good units. We have full review videos on almost every Bluetti product on the channel, so if you guys are interested in that, head over there and check some of them out. We'll also leave a link to the playlist for Bluetti power stations down below. But if I were you, here's what I would buy. If you're looking for a Bluetti that's big enough for home backup, or just to power some kind of project like a cabin, a shed, something like that, we would recommend looking at the Apex 300. This is the biggest unit Bluetti currently makes, which is kind of surprising because it's not actually that big in the grand scheme of power stations, but Bluetti went the route of making an affordable entry point that you can then build into something pretty cool. So this is only $1,500. It's like really cheap when you consider the fact that like the Delta Pro Ultra is like $6,000. This has a 2,764 watt hour battery built into it and a 3,840 watt inverter. It does 120 or 240 volts directly out of one unit. There's a little switch right here that you can choose what voltage you're outputting. It's very simple. It just has house plugs across the front. You have 420 volt house plugs. On the side over here, you have access to your 240 volt plugs. You have a 50 amp, you have a 30 amp if you want to plug this in like a trailer or an RV. And this one here is actually your AC in out port. So that's where you would plug in some accessories, dongles, things like that. Overall though, it's a really simple unit. You'll notice there's no USBs, there's no phone chargers on the top. There's nothing that Bluetti knows you don't need with a unit like this. It's meant to set it and forget it. So you could buy one now and build your system as you need, or just buy a whole kit. Because on their site, the more you buy like batteries, units and stuff like that, you save a little bit more money. But this thing is literally just meant to put it in a shed with an expansion battery, plug it into a transfer switch and let it rip. If you want USBs, they have adapters that you can plug in that'll give you access to USBs, 12 volt car sockets, all that stuff. They have a solar 4K you can connect to this, which gives you a huge solar input over what actually comes with this unit. This unit is about 2,400 watts of solar max just from one, which is not actually that bad, but if you have multiple batteries going, the solar 4K is actually a really cool accessory you can get. It's a little untraditional in terms of big systems, but we do just like that it's simple. Plug it in, let it rip, you're good to go. All of our testing was good when we had this unit. We were pretty impressed with it. And you can pair it with their 300 or 500 batteries, depending on how much money you have to spend or how big or small you actually want to scale your system. So for a good, cheap entry-level price, and even once you start building it, you end up with way more bang for your buck than you do with some other competitor units. It's hard to beat. So when we're looking at mid-size power stations, we're looking for something that would work for small emergency power backup in your house, a small camping trailer, maybe just like a little shed or something like that. At this size, you're at the bigger end of portable power. But in our opinion, looking at Bluetti's lineup, we would go with something like this Bluetti Elite 400. As people who did not recommend Bluetti as a brand just a few years ago, their Elite lineup is basically responsible for the entire comeback they have had here on our channel. The Elite 100 V2 and 200 V2 were really good units that honestly made us second guess our opinions on Bluetti, and ever since we got those products, things have just been going better and better for them. But if we had to pick one from that Elite lineup of mid-sized power stations, it would be the 400. Now the Elite 400 is basically just the Elite 200 with a built-in expansion battery. This thing's kind of in its own lane. It's a bit of a unique power station, to be honest. We don't typically see things like this, but essentially this thing has a 2,600 watt inverter, but it has a 3,840 watt hour battery, which is pretty big for a unit this size. And essentially what they've done is a lot of people will be buying, like the Elite 200, they use it for a while, they realize their needs have grown, they don't necessarily need a bigger inverter, but they're using their battery quicker than they thought, and so they want to buy expansion batteries. When you do that, you have one unit with an expansion battery on top, there's cables connecting them, there's more parts and pieces to move around, multiple trips, you can't move them with just like a suitcase handle and wheels. So what they ended up doing was basically building the expansion battery into the unit. That's basically what this entire lower half is. They put a suitcase handle on it and some wheels, and now you have a portable, small inverter, big battery power station. This unit also performed really well here in our testing, and it is just simple. Like, it's literally a small inverter. You have your 4 plugs, you have USB-Cs, 12-volt car socket right there. There's not a whole lot. You have a solar input and your AC input. The solar could be a little bit higher on this, but it is what it is. You also have like nice removable vents right here on the side. Given that it does have wheels, it's nice to be able to take that off and clean it up a bit. And overall, we just think it's cool because for the price of this thing, which is $13.99 before our discount code gets applied, you really do just get a good bang for your buck. Like, I would rather have this unit on wheels with a handle than one small one and an expansion battery put on top of it. But if this unit is a bit bigger than what you still need, or it's just a bit more money than you were hoping to spend, we can also take a look at the smaller units in Bluetti's lineup. Elite 100 V2 all day. This is a true portable power station. It weighs nothing. It performed really well in our testing. It honestly has a pretty big inverter. This is an 1,800 watt inverter from a tiny little unit. It's got a 1,000 watt hour battery, so it's enough to power your fridge for almost a full day. And it's just got almost the same amount of plugs and ports as that Elite 400 did. You have your 4 house plugs, you have all your USB-Cs. You do get barrels on this for camping accessories and stuff like that. 12-volt car socket, same screen, same app functionality. There's not a lot to a small unit like this, but this one works and it's priced right. It's almost priced in line with like a Pecron, which is crazy because it's like a name brand unit. The best part is this thing has a 1,000 watt solar input, which means you could fully charge this battery from 0 to 100% in 1 hour. So if you're camping or someone that's on the go, this is a really good unit because you don't need to be stagnant, or you don't have to have your panels out for too long to fully charge it up, which we love. And you get all this for $499 before our discount code. So these are Bluetti's normal power stations, but Bluetti also offers some specialty units. Now, if you've watched the channel at all recently, you've probably seen us talk about this fridge power a lot. This unit was basically designed to sit on top of your fridge. On the back side, you'd have the AC plug plugged into this so that it's basically getting power from the grid at all times, and your fridge plugged into one of these outlets. And the whole idea is that this sits on top of your fridge. It just lives there in UPS mode. So if the power ever goes out, your fridge stays on, because as soon as that power goes out, your fridge starts taking power from this unit. They're expandable. You can connect up to 3 expansion batteries to 1 power station. And the simple math is this will run your fridge for roughly 1 day. In our testing, just a little bit more, but 1 unit, 1 day. So if you get an expansion battery, that's 2 days of fridge power. Second expansion battery is 3 days. You can go all the way up to 4 days. It does have a solar input directly on the top, so you can charge this thing up with solar. And then you have your expansion battery port on the side. There's also this little screen you can get, which is really cool. You can magnet this to your fridge door or wherever you want so that you can actually monitor the unit from the screen. You don't have to get on your tippy toes and look on top of your fridge. But the coolest part about this is that it works for way more than just a fridge. We made a whole video on this on the Plus channel if you guys want to go check that out. But basically, this thing is like so slim and it can mount to the wall or whatever. You could basically use it as a UPS for your sump pump. You could put it under the back seat of your truck. You could take it camping. You could do all kinds of stuff with a power station like this because of its profile. Just the profile of this thing is amazing considering you get an 1800 watt inverter and a 2016 watt hour battery in a unit like this. Sure, it lacks things like a USB, which you actually get on the expansion batteries. It has limited plugs and ports and stuff like that, but this thing opened up a whole new world of possibilities when it comes to portable power and what you can do with it. We'll leave some extra reviews down below comparing it to Jackery's version and whatever else we have made by the time you guys watch this video, so check that out. But aside from this, there's one other specialty unit that we really like. And that unit would be the Pioneer NA. Now basically, this is just a regular Bluetti power station. It has a 1500 watt inverter and a 900 watt hour battery, which when you look at the size of it, seems quite small compared to its form, but this has a sodium battery, basically meaning it will perform much better in cold climates. So if that's somewhere that you live, like we do, this unit could actually have a ton of advantages. If you were to forget it in your car, leave it at your cabin, something like that, when you show up, open the door, it's cold in there, this unit will still turn on, put power out, you can still put power into it. It's a really cool advantage that sodium batteries have. They've been getting a little bit more popular over the last couple of years, and I think a lot of companies are starting to realize that you get similar performance, maybe it's a little bit bigger, but you also get some extra advantages with that. The big numbers here are that this thing can charge down to negative 15 degrees Celsius, whereas the standard in the industry is about 0 degrees. So basically anything below freezing, you can't just plug in your power station and charge it. It protects itself, whereas this one will happily take a charge, and it can discharge down to negative 25 degrees Celsius, but the industry standard is about negative 10, which again is huge because if you were to leave this in your car overnight or leave it in your cabin, like I said, when you show up and it's really, really cold, you could still plug something into it and power up whatever it is that you're trying to power, whereas most other power stations would limit themselves and not work. And they made it like a really good normal power station. You have your little wireless charging pad right here on the top. You have traditional Bluetti style with the USBs, the plugs, 12 volt car socket. You have your 500 watt solar input, so you can basically charge this thing in just under 2 hours with solar. And it only costs $899 before our discount code. Overall, it's a pretty good unit. It performed pretty well. I wouldn't drop it. They did advertise that it can take a huge fall from like a 1.2 meters or something like that, which would be sick because a tailgate is just about a meter off the ground. So if you were to accidentally knock it out of the back of your truck, oh, that didn't work, did it? Surviving that drop would be cool. This thing did not survive. The fans have been making terrible sounds ever since, so I would not recommend doing that. But otherwise, great unit. We like it. And in the winter time, this thing really, really gets used. So hopefully that helps you guys figure out which one of these Bluettis might be best for you. Because as you know, we have recommended you not to buy certain Bluettis over the years. You know what we should do? We should just leave like a comment in the description. We should just leave a section that's like, don't buy these ones. Just in case they watch this and they're like, I'm gonna go buy a Bluetti, and they want like the AC200L, and we're like, don't buy that one. If there was any units in this video that interested you, we have full reviews you can go check out on them. We also have discount codes in the description that you guys can use to save you guys some money when the time comes to actually buy something if you choose to do so. If you're like, I don't want any of the stuff that you guys talked about today, we have a quiz. It takes 30 seconds and gives you guys an instant recommendation that we would actually recommend to you. Otherwise, that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and we will catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.